Welcome back, Chaos Gremlins. It's your girl, Audrey, and I've brought another collection of unhinged moments from the outer rim of Reddit. This batch, pure mayhem. We've got nosy roommates snorting mystery powder, garden sabotaging in laws, and one story that made me scream no out loud in a Trader Joe's parking lot. So buckle in because it's about to get spicy, petty, criminal, and possibly illegal, but like in a podcast friendly way. So let's get into it.
All right. This one's titled, You Want to Help Yourself to My Drugs? Good luck. Let me start by saying I'm not doing drugs, nor have I ever done so. But that didn't stop this next idiot from trying to snort what she thought was coke, and spoiler alert, it was not. Back when I was in university, I had the chance to do a temporary exchange at another school. Instead of dorms, the program just swapped students. I took someone else's apartment, and they took mine. All cleared, all chill. Except one of the people in my temporary place was a nosy nightmare. Let's call her Karen, because of course. She got into everyone's business constantly, and I basically avoided her as much as possible. It was only for a few months, so I kept to myself. She didn't like me, I didn't like her, and the feeling was mutual. So the reader says, here's a fun little fact about me. I love licorice, the strong kind, and I'm not talking Twizzlers. Okay. So some years before this, I figured out how to get my fix without wrecking my teeth on candy. Ammonium chloride powder, also known as salmiak. It's sold in baking stores and online. It looks like fine white powder. It's odorless, acidic, and super intense. Quick side note, I had to look this up because I wasn't totally sure at first, but yeah, salmiak has a strong, salty black licorice flavor. It's really big in Nordic countries, and it's used in candies, sauces, and even booze. So if you love licorice, it slaps. If you don't, it's like licking battery acid. So back to the story. I usually keep it in 10-gram plastic baggies and eat just what sticks to the tip of my finger. So yeah, it absolutely looks like coke. I know Karen saw me eat some once and asked me about it. I told her it was candy and that she wouldn't like it. Cut to 2 weeks before I move out. I come home, see an ambulance outside, and 2 paramedics inside helping Karen, who has a horrific nosebleed, like horror movie levels. She sees me and immediately starts screaming that it was my fault. Paramedics ask if I know what's going on. Karen claims it came out of nowhere. So I ask, did you go into my room, take a little baggie labeled candy and snort it? She hesitantly admits it. I go, that's not coke, you idiot. It's salmiak, ammonium chloride. I explain the whole thing to the paramedics, chemical name and all. Karen had to be taken to the ER because they thought she might have burned a hole in her nasal wall. She didn't, but according to the student I swabbed with, she couldn't smell anything for 6 months, and she still blamed me. The comment section did not hold back. I've grabbed the top reply and it said, well, that's what happens when you snort just about anything and everything. Maybe that'll teach her to go raking through people's possessions. Another said, so basically she's a thief and a druggie that got her karma. And my favorite part is she should learn to keep her nose out of other people's business, literally.
I have a story titled High Hopes, a Smoking Boat, and the Jet Skis That Never Were. So this story starts with a promise. Jet skis and boats. That was the bait. That was the dream. And honestly, that's all it took. My best friend invited me to Priest Lake, Idaho, which, if you don't know, it's this gorgeous, crystal clear lake tucked away up near the Canadian border. It's surrounded by pine trees, mountains. It's the kind of place that makes you feel that you're in a postcard, but with just enough weirdness to turn it into a sitcom. We were staying in this big cabin with her whole extended family. Her mom, her mom's husband, her aunt's husband, her sister, and the sister's boyfriend, my friend, and then myself. One big family vacation, and me, a slightly unhinged guest star for the weekend. Now, her mom's husband had just gotten a brand new boat. Think the kind that is a lofty down payment on a house. It was the main character of the trip, big enough to fit the whole crew, so the sister and her boyfriend didn't even bring the jet skis that I was told about. I had been promised both, but hey, one boat was still enough to get excited about. I mean, especially because I didn't grow up with a boat as a family.
Boats were everything.
We had like a tiny tin fishing boat, but like we didn't have boat friends. So boat and jet skis, say less. Day 1, we're up early, we're sunscreened, caffeinated, excited to get out on the lake, Bestie and I naturally decide to take an edible. I mean, we're in Idaho. There's no edibles accessible. We bring
Right.
Oregon stuff with us.
Smoking could get you in trouble.
Yeah,
In
so
Idaho, they
yeah,
love it. They need,
we're gonna be out there all day,
Yeah.
so we're loading up, and not just like a like a little bit of a buzz for the lake dose, more of a let's turn this boat ride into an adventure level. Strong but fun. We were feeling good. The boat is packed. Everyone's happy. We've made some sandwiches for lunch. We're headed to this beach that you can only get to by boat, which is important later. The vibes are 10 out of 10. Truly peak lake day energy. These are the memories that I grew up seeing people post about or talk about, and I always had FOMO, so I'm feeling really good at this
Are
point.
these MySpace days too? So like you actually have a platform to be like, look who went on a boat.
I wish. This is 2022.
Oh, this was only 3 years ago.
This is only 3 years ago. So imagine, I guess that's good context. Imagine me.
I was imagining, like, I'm like, damn, how'd this 14-year-old Audrey get this edible? This is 3 years ago.
3 years ago. So family vacation with conservative Idaho family, and then me as in 2022. So head to toe tattoos.
Gotcha.
We leave tattoos, just not, stick out like a sore thumb.
Pay full price for them ripped jeans.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Then out in the middle of the lake, the engine and battery compartment start smoking. Because both are in the same compartment, we're not sure where it's what equipment is smoking, and everyone just freezes. Like there was no emergency preparedness in this family. One person from another boat next to us suggests that we use their Rubbermaid tub to throw lake water on it, which is impressively bad advice. Solid effort, but absolutely not. People are starting to freak out. Nobody seems to have all of these boats surrounding us. Nobody has a fire extinguisher. Nobody knows where their fire extinguishers are. And while all of that commotion is happening, I glance over and I realize my bestie and I, we have drifted off on our floaties. We had already jumped ship when we saw the smoke, and we were just floating away from the boat, watching the chaos, high as hell, laughing so hard we couldn't even form words.
Like at the fact that it was going down.
Yeah, because
Well, I mean,
everybody's panicking and
what-
nobody's jumping ship.
You're like hitting your vape on a floaty on the lake, just fucking Snoop Dogging it along. Like,
Yes. It was incredible. They didn't seem to have the emergency preparedness to. Nobody seemed to know that you're not supposed to put water on an electrical fire. Nobody had anything to smother it. No fire extinguisher, but then also weren't making decisions to jump ship. So we just did our own thing. We got in trouble because the boat is literally burning behind us, and we're just out there giggling, stoned as sea otters, because we can't control our laughter at this point. It is just two kids in a quiet classroom giggling when you're not supposed to be laughing, and it's just, you can't stop. It's just snowballing.
Right.
Got in trouble, like actual, you two need to get your shit together in trouble, which is fair. Meanwhile, Aunt Jody cuts her leg on the propeller trying to bail off the boat, so it is total chaos at this point. Eventually, we figured out that the mom's husband had hooked the battery up backward the night before, so the whole thing was just cooking overnight.
That's crazy that it didn't like
I don't know, burn down the dock.
whole, start at 3 a.m. and wake up to, we got to get out of the house or whatever.
Because this is July in Idaho. It is dry. There are trees everywhere.
It's 2022. You know how to hook up a battery, or Google it.
How are you going to spend that much money on a boat and not know how to hook up the battery? Sorry, Alan, if you're listening to this somehow. We managed to put the fire out. We flagged down the lake sheriff, who rolls up like he's got this under control, but then he tells us he's too busy writing tickets to tow us. He's got to go over to these people, write him some tickets for these things, make his quota and his money, and then come back. We're just still vibing. And our floaties are those, like, we call them dad chairs. They're the ones that have the like U-shaped inflatable behind
exactly
you.
One you like,
and then the
your
netting
arms.
under you.
King of the castle.
Yeah, with two double cup
And
holders.
is there like a little bit of a leg float? Yep.
So we're chilling, crystal clear water. It is warm. We look like we're on a tropical beach. So we kind of forget that this whole thing's happening while the sheriff is going and doing his thing. Comes back. He does not tow us back to our original dock. Just a random spot on the shore with no boat ramp because Priest Lake is massive. So it's like almost 20 miles long around the perimeter. It's not a quick detour to just take us all the way back to our dock. So he's like, this is as far as I can take you, drops us, dips. Mom's husband has to walk all the way back to the cabin to get his truck, finally gets it, brings it back, hooks it up, tries to get the truck and the trailer with the boat
On a not dock?
on a not dock. It's like
It's gonna like
gravelly beach
yeah.
shore. So naturally we got stuck
Oh my gosh.
trying to get the boat out. The boat that no longer works, the boat that absolutely betrayed us. I mean,
I think it was
technically it was
awful,
Alan.
yeah. Damn you, Alan. Was it Alan's boat?
Yeah.
Oh,
He just bought it.
Oh.
He hadn't taken it out yet. He bought it before, like to have at Priest Lake.
dude, I go over more an IKEA cabinet more than this guy goes over his boat. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know how things are working, or I don't want to fuck something up. Like,
Batteries are universal.
batteries scare me. Like,
They're
electricity
scary.
in general is
It's
the one thing that I make sure that I do or hire. You know, car battery, you can figure that out.
Yeah.
But
And it's
jeez,
a boat battery
he's
is pretty similar.
lucky.
He's so lucky.
He's so lucky. And so are you guys, though, too. Like, I just mean it could have been way worse.
Burned down their cabin.
Yes, that's
Burned
what I
down
mean.
somebody else's cabin. Started a forest fire in Idaho and Priest Lake.
Oh, and you know that like those kids that started that giant forest fire for us, like it is possible with just one. It's not like, oh, this match, yeah, that match.
It takes one ember.
Yep.
That kid is in witness protection program now because people were harassing him so hard.
Dude,
As they should.
I was gonna say, like, not that like you should harass these people, but like the kid got the flack that he deserved, you know, like
It's burning down.
it wasn't like, and it wasn't even like the kid was smoking a cigarette and accidentally put it out. Not that that's forgivable, but lighting fireworks, like,
Yeah.
dude, I used to do dumb shit as a kid, questionable still
Negligence.
to this day, should have gotten in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And it's not a part of becoming a kid now, you know,
Yeah.
like you don't fuck around with the forest either, though. I'm talking about like I threw a firework into a dumpster once.
Yeah.
Like, but there was nothing around.
It's dry out. There are burn bans. You're in a very sacred, gorgeous territory of the wilderness. And also people forget that like people live out there.
For sure.
So, and especially in that area, it's a lot of people with livestock. And I don't know, I have had to evacuate a home with livestock before, and it's not easy.
My aunt lives down in like where the beavers are, Corvallis,
Corvallis,
Oregon, and she's had to take in people's horses, like from California, from Oregon, just because people like they have spots for their horses and then they don't. You know what I mean?
Bless those people, though. They really band together for the community
it's like
during
a horse
those times.
thing. Like it's like Jeep owners.
Yeah, it's almost a cult. So
Squirrel.
eventually we got back to the cabin. At this point, my best friend and I are still, skipped over a part. At this point, my best friend and I are still high, still useless, absolutely losing it in the back of the pickup. We had to ride in the back of the truck because there were too many people. Aunt Jody with her busted leg was riding in the back of the boat that was being towed and had like half burned down.
Oof.
We're just laughing hysterically. What?
She's still bleeding?
Oh yeah. It was rough because the propeller of that boat was thick.
Chopped her up.
Yeah. She was also super hammered. So we're just still laughing and having fun because it was either that or we were just gonna be on a downward spiral. The rest of the weekend, no boat, and then also no jet skis. We would have had a backup plan. Thanks, Jesse. No beach, because you could only get there by watercraft. Just me and her entire family stuck in a cabin together. So what got me through it, you might ask? Huckleberry milkshakes. Aunt Jody's homemade deviled egg potato salad. And the meditative rage of cornhole. So next time somebody lures you in with promises of jet skis, lake bliss, maybe double check that they know how to hook up a battery.
It sounds like a shitty horror movie, where like with not like if you watched it on camera, it would be almost bad acting because you have these like people overreacting and laughing, and you're like, okay, now they're making me uncomfortable. Like, oh my God, that lady's leg just got hit by the,
It was like one of those like
the sheriff's
thing
like,
after another.
I don't like your kind. Or I don't wanted to say earlier is like, that's fucked up. He took his job to a minimum. It was just to make sure you didn't die.
Yeah.
Not to make anything else convenience for you. He knew you would live if he got you to shore.
Yeah.
But I've got quotas, like you said, I've got people to steal from.
Yeah. Jamie goes, aren't you going to say something? Because normally I would say something. And I was
Like to the cop?
yeah. And I was like, no, because we're in Idaho and I am
Yeah.
so hot.
Back to laughing.
But yeah, it was funny because I mean, they really liked me. I feel like I've been with Jamie and I have been friends for 10 years now, and I'm pretty close with her family. But I have been invited back to Priest Lake every single year. Do you want to know the amount of times I've gone back?
None.
None.
Oh, it was going to be all or none.
None.
But yeah, I mean, was the boat cool? Like, was it like
The boat was sick.
was it like a wakeboarding boat?
It was like a big, like at least $75,000 wakeboarding boat, like a
okay.
Moomba or something.
Right.
It was big. It
Little
got
suntan spot on the front.
yeah, great sound system, storage space underneath.
No life jackets.
They had those. But yeah, that's what the sheriff was ticketing people for.
Jesus.
Life jackets, I think, and drinking.
Okay, so my story is titled My Ex-Wife Kept the Clone-A-Willies. I made her every Valentine's Day, so I made sure her new boyfriend met all of them. And before we even start, I might have a note in here, but I feel like I still need to warn everybody. The guy who writes this, I was like, is he trolling? I went onto his profile and thank God I have the not safe for work thing on, like it blurs. It says like, do you want to see this image? You don't. And all of the things that he posts about are very weird. It's like very suggestive. Like, do you think like the lead in a pencil would hurt the inside of my penis? And people are like, please God, tell me that you're not going to do what I think you're going to do. And he's got tons of, like this guy is known throughout Reddit. Let me put it to you that way. And not for a good one. And I think he lives in Seattle. Anyways, so this isn't just a random creep. This guy's fucking, he's out there. Anyways, let me read it to you exactly how it was posted. So buckle up. Are you ready? Okay.
Ready.
During my marriage, I had this running joke, quotes, desperate cry for sex, where I gave my wife a cloner willy of myself every Valentine's Day. I thought it was funny and kind of sweet. She never really laughed or used them, as far as I know. Our sex life was dusty. The clone willies were my subtle way of saying, hey, remember sex? Can we please have more sex? It didn't work. Fast forward, we get divorced. Messy divorce. I asked if I could take the clone willies with me because it felt weird leaving them behind like some haunted dildo time capsule. She just looked at me dead serious and said, they're mine now. I said they're nearly a part of me. She didn't care. She kept them to annoy me. So yeah, my ex-wife has a literal collection of my dick like trophies. Anyway, a few months ago, she gets a new boyfriend. He's one of those smug guys who always brings up CrossFit. Yeah, I fucking know you exercise CrossFit or CrossFite, as I say in Norway. Fite translates to pussy. I have legally met him shortly a couple of times. Other than talking about CrossFit and looking down at me as I'm some kind of freak, he recently said to me, I'm the man now, and she needs a real man, not someone who fucks sex dolls. To make things worse, he just spilled my private dark secrets to his friends. My ex-wife and I have an agreement that I will leave her alone if she doesn't tell anybody about my secret sex life with dolls and toys. But now they both have ruined everything. She told him and he told his friends about me. I know this because a friend of mine told me we're not far from the biggest city. I've kept my part of the agreement. She got the best divorce deal. I feel betrayed. I'm depressed and have been through hell. My ex-wife promised to keep my dark history secret in our divorce agreement. Today I decided to do a little revenge. I sent her new boyfriend this message. Hey man, if you ever want to see the full collection of my clone willies, check the purple box on top of the closet in the second floor bedroom. That was it. No threats, no drama, just a gentle hint. Just some hour later, I get this message back. And I'm gonna try to, hey, fiance, fucking, and he's like, oh fuck, those were disgusting, is what it translates.
He was quick to go check.
Oh yeah. Apparently, he did look, and he did find every one of them, all of them, probably lined up like damn infinity stones. I got a message from my ex-wife. She's pissed. Revenge complete. That literally ends the story.
He said an hour.
Huh?
He sent a message.
Oh yeah, that means like that means it happened immediately. Then talked to her and calmed and didn't calm himself, and then came back. But so here's the comment section. Here are some of the comments. This is fucking weird. I'd be upset if my husband couldn't get me a better gift than a silicone version of his dick every Valentine's Day. It was obvious she didn't like it, and he still gifted her one as a way to get her to be physical with him. Instead of talking to her, super passive aggressive, the divorce was needed. And then, all of his posts make me question how someone married him in the first place. Someone said, "This is the comment I came for. If it didn't work for the first year, why the fuck would you continue to make it a tradition?" I'm not sure why men believe just looking at their dicks turns us on, but it does not.
Well, especially like if you guys are already having like sexual problems in your relationship, what makes you think that a clone of your dick is gonna spice anything up? You're just recreating the same thing that she's obviously having a problem with.
For sure. Oh my gosh. So, next comment, no offense, but I wish I didn't read this. Here we go. Now it starts with OP's profile is a wild ride if you want to read some more things you'd wish you'd not read. And keep in mind, as I'm editing this and reading, putting into story form, I'm like, what is going on? Next comment. Oh God, not cream puff guy again. Every time I see a weird, not safe for work post, it always ends up being this guy. So you see his reputation. So next one, I asked out loud, cream puff guy? And looked on his profile expecting actual cream puffs. Like a fool. I should have never looked.
Fool.
Should really know better after being on here for so long. The next one. The ex-wife is looking like the sane one with everything he posts. I don't know. For me, it was the odd combination of horror, pity, disgust, and laughing my ass off. Someone said, please heed this warning. Jesus H tap dancing Christ. I am a victim of my own curiosity.
I wish I had $1 for every time I said that to myself. Why do I go to websites? People tell me.
Okay. I'm just saying, I'm about to dive in. I see all the concerns and it's making the urge stronger to look, even though I now know I'm going to hate it. Edit. I'm back. OP has problems. So I've gone down that particularly strange to me rabbit hole. What I'm wondering now is this. OP is obviously into sex toys and coloring outside the lines a little. And according to that one post about secretly masturbating in class, always has, what if she didn't dig toys as much or playing in the part of the sandbox and the dick clones were his way of trying to force her to? Someone said, I have the assumption that OP wanted to have the clone of Willie's back so that he can have those and his weird fleshlight make out. He probably has at least one copy for himself anyway. I could vividly imagine it, how he sets up everything perfectly and then goes, and now kiss.
No kiss.
This guy is the villain in his own story, doesn't even know it. Honestly, revenge delivered, frozen in silicone. Oh, so I did have a small note. If you're listening and you were like, I have to see how bad this is, you're going to regret doing so. But I put, for the curious, the OP, everyone basically hijacking the posts about frequently I sadly found out. So he asked the most bizarre questions known to man, and it's Chicken of the Year is his name for the people that have to know. I guarantee you will regret looking it up on Reddit, but it is chicken _of_the_year. Chicken of the Year. Sheesh. Good luck. Are you going to look it up, Audrey?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I have him saved on here because of that story.
You're already connected. Oh, okay.
My Wi-Fi is just being slow. This original post is from October 16th of 2023. The backstory. I went back to university in my late 20s to do my PhD and shared an office with a few other students for many years. One of the students, Jacob, completed his thesis and was moving back to his home country, so we all went out for congratulatory farewell drinks. One thing led to another, and Jacob and I spent the night together. A few weeks later, I realized I was pregnant, and I had no way to contact Jacob. His university email and mobile number had been deactivated since he'd left the university and the country. I didn't need anything from him, and I was fine to raise the child alone, but I thought he had the right to know. I Googled him a few times over the years, but never found him. This last week, our department had emailed everyone to introduce and welcome our new manager, Jacob, with a photo and a blurb about his education and work history, so I know for sure it's him. The night we spent together changed my life because it made me a parent, so I have thought about Jacob from time to time when my daughter asks about her dad or I notice a genetic trait she didn't get from me. That's gotta be pretty emotional.
Yeah.
I've never really thought
It
about
sounds
that
like very
aspect.
chill, given the circumstance.
She understands the situation. She seems emotionally intelligent. She understands the situation she put herself
It's
in.
not like he was like, "You're what? Bye." Like,
He-
dude was just like, "Oh, like I'm
He
outta
doesn't
here."
know.
Right,
And
right.
it's also, she is handling it from a very, like, it's not like he knows aspect as well. And it seems like she wants him to know for the right reason.
Right.
But, you know, seeing a little mini me, but not recognizing some of the traits and kind of like probably makes you long for that connection.
For sure.
However, I doubt Jacob has given that night a second thought. I have no idea whether he will have any concerns about being my manager given our history, whether I'm making a bigger deal of this than I should. For what it's worth, in my years of sharing an office with Jacob, he seemed easygoing and very practical. In our company, it is common for everyone in the department to reply all to these introduction emails and introduce themselves, welcome the newcomer aboard, and explain how their new role will interact with theirs. I'm not sure if my email should note that Jacob and I studied together years ago as a way to get that out in the open, or should I email him individually and offer to have a discussion about keeping our history out of the workplace if he thinks it's needed? I'd appreciate any suggestions for language that indicates I'm not concerned and I will be completely professional.
But this isn't email worthy. She needs to drop the bomb. Hey, baby boy, we got a baby girl.
I think
it's like that TikTok trend. To me and that guy who met at the concert. I know that's their kid together, but you know,
yeah. I think what she is getting at is emailing him before she does her introduction because she's not sure if she wants to mention that they know each other or keep that separate.
Right.
But I would assume that she would tell him about
that's what I'm saying.
Their kid
She's
in
also
person.
looked for him over the years already.
Yeah.
She's found him. Hey, I noticed you're coming in to be my boss.
Oh, let it drop that early before he even gets there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, as soon as that person is found, he needs to know he has that kid.
Email him, be like, hey,
because at that
we
point,
need to meet up before you start.
Right.
And then have a conversation in person.
Yes. Something. Not an email. Just this is beyond email.
Carrier pigeon.
In the time that she wrote this Reddit post,
she could
have hopped her ass in her car, went down to a Starbucks and met the dude.
Oh yeah, because she is writing this before. She's this is, and it's long too. She took a lot of time. Sorry. And then, in direct contradiction to that, I'd also appreciate a script for a separate email saying, "Can we please?"
Oh gosh.
Can we please meet outside of work because I need to tell you something important about our history so I can tell him about his daughter. If you or any commenters think I shouldn't tell him or I should let him settle into his new country and new job first, I would definitely take that on board. That's funny. To the extent which I tried to find Jacob wasn't this is an edit. Okay, sorry. This is an edit from the OP. The extent to which I tried to find Jacob wasn't relevant to my question, so I didn't include the efforts I went to. For the commenters who are curious, and understandably, I really did try when I first found out I was pregnant. I asked the other people we shared an office with, but no one had any information. We were students who shared an office and sometimes went to the uni bar together. We never spent any time together outside of the uni walls. I asked Jacob's thesis supervisor, but it was Christmas/Australia. So fucking stupid. I asked Jacob's thesis supervisor, but it was Christmas and Australian summer here, so he was on leave for 2 months. When I got back, he gave me the address on Jacob's file, which was, of course, the Australian address he didn't live at anymore. The uni had a next of kin Australian contact number on file for his aunt, but no one ever answered it when I rang. Jacob is Chinese with a very common surname, and Jacob is just the name he used in my country. I don't know if his actual given name is actually Jacob or not. So attempts to find the correct Mr. Wong in a country where they didn't use Google or Facebook went nowhere. I searched for recent publications about Jacob's thesis topic and found a paper with Jacob Wong as one of the authors. I even contacted the corresponding author and asked for Jacob's email, but they never responded to me. By this point, I had to give up because I was so sick with hyperemesis and which is the worst if you've had it just.
What is that?
It affects like your esophageal and gastrointestinal area. You can get it actually from consuming too much THC, but it happens
It's like bubble guts?
a lot of nausea and vomiting,
Oh.
a lot of bile.
Like food sickness sick kind of?
I would say it
mean,
would
food
surprise me because she is pregnant. I would say it's like morning sickness.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Similar. That might
Just
actually
using
be
fancy words.
that might actually be what morning sickness is, but I'm familiar with cannabis hyperemesis.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure that's whatever the scientific precursor to it is. Interesting. So something about that was affecting the baby's health. 8 months later, in June of 2024, we have an update. Thank you for answering my letter. You were right. It is a really big deal. I was viewing the Jacob as my manager problem from his perspective until I told him otherwise. It was just a simple one-night stand over a decade ago, and it didn't seem like a huge problem. I hated and appreciated the reality check. I regret reading the comments, but thank you also for moderating them as quickly as you did.
She must have got some super flack.
Yeah, I think we get to some of those comments at the
Okay.
bottom. And it's interesting with these types of stories. You oftentimes get a little column A, a little column B from the feedback from the commenters. A lot happened in a short space of time. Thankfully, I already had a therapist. First, I spoke to my union rep who said, "Say nothing, but call us if HR tries to set up a meeting with you." Staying silent and having Jacob independently declare the prior relationship when he arrived would have been very problematic because I'd still end up in the same position and would have lied by omission. Our HR team can be gossipy and they know the age of my half Chinese daughter, so I needed to have as much control as possible over the disclosure. She seems like she's thought things through quite a bit. I spoke to an employment lawyer who reviewed our policies, and at his suggestion, I wrote an email to HR declaring a prior relationship with Jacob. Then I was immediately pushed out. Even if you have all the legal support in the world, you can't prevent somebody from doing something illegal. You just have recourse afterward. In a meeting with my lawyer, the union rep, HR, and a number of the senior management team, they asked me to resign. When I said no, they insisted on a statutory declaration about the relationship with Jacob, stating what happened, when it happened, how many times it happened, and who initiated it.
Wow.
I also said no to that.
Good.
We ended the meeting with each side agreeing to think about possible solutions. The company's solution was to start messing with my pay, benefits, my swipe card access to my office, my computer login, and my email and calendar account. They spread rumors about me. I heard coworkers whispering that I had an affair with a manager. They sent me for a random drug test at a time when I was scheduled for an important meeting with clients. They canceled accommodation that had been booked for upcoming travel, which I only found out about because I was getting paranoid and had called the hotel.
This is wild.
Companies do crazy stuff. I can't describe how awful it feels to know that somebody with this kind of power over you and your job is devoting their time and energy to thinking of ways to screw with you. Every day I was going into work wondering what was waiting for me, and it was wearing me down really fast. The advice from the union rep was to go back in time and follow their first piece of advice, or just keep documenting everything as we were prepared to take legal action. The lawyer estimated that it would take at least a year to get any sort of resolution, and I didn't even want the job anymore at this point. I wasn't sleeping much, and I had cried a few times at work. I was beginning to crack, and we were only just getting started. Imagine, and like having a young kid.
Yeah.
But on your own. So I resigned. I wish I'd held up better under the pressure, but it was all just too much with the looming deadline of Jacob's start date at our office. And I'm restarting because I accidentally hit my mic. So I resigned. I wish I'd held up better under the pressure, but it was all just too much with the looming deadline of Jacob's start date at our office and whatever HR was going to drag him. So I resigned. I wish I'd held up better under the pressure, but it was all just too much with the looming deadline of Jacob's start date at our office. I'm lucky that I can take my time looking for a new job, so I've had some space to process everything now. Outside of the work stuff, I spoke with a family lawyer who outlined all of the possible ways this situation could go and what the most likely outcomes were. Basically, my daughter is old enough that what she wants would get heavily weighed by a court if it came down to that. I've spoken to my daughter many times about her father. I told her what I knew about him and that I had tried to contact him. I've offered for her to see a therapist if she ever wanted to talk about it with somebody who wasn't me. And she's always said Thanks, but no thanks. The family lawyer helped me write a letter, which I left for Jacob. I told him about his daughter, said I wasn't trying to get anything from him, and gave him the contact deals of my lawyer. After a few weeks of me freaking out that HR had somehow intercepted the letter, I mean, at this point, with all the shady stuff they've been doing, of course you're being paranoid about that kind of stuff.
HR, a lot of people don't know that HR is not there for you. They're
No,
there
it's for the company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof, I've found that out a couple of times. He emailed my lawyer. He was easygoing and practical Jacob, I remembered. He was still processing it, but said he wasn't going to take any legal steps. He offered us his family medical history. He apologized if I resigned because of him. And he said he would like to meet our daughter if she's interested. She also has some siblings. Oh my God.
Oh, I was like, wait, she had more baby. Oh, Jacob's got kids?
I told her all of this. This is going to be another episode where I cry. I told her all this, and she said she's happy that she has her father's contact info, but she doesn't want to meet him right now. She's of the view that having him in our lives would cause some sort of disruption.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even know about the whole work portion of it yet.
Right.
She doesn't know her mom's lost her job over it yet.
How old is this child?
Um,
This child is more intellectually sound than...
yeah, I know. Update number 2. We are now June 9th, 2025. This is 1 year later from our last update. I'm incredibly grateful for the support you and the community gave me at such a stressful time, so I thought I'd share a final update. My daughter changed her mind and has been in contact with Jacob. It is still a bit awkward between them, but they have some hobbies in common, which they've begun to bond over. My daughter also seems very excited to have some siblings who adore their cool new big sister. That's rad. I know some people were wondering why my old company reacted the way that they did. For some reasons I can't get into, my work gets scrutinized by outside authorities, and my manager's role is primarily a quality control one. Any suggestion that my manager had not checked my work, any suggestion that my manager had not checked my work impartially enough due to a personal relationship could have been career ending for the both of us. Additionally, the work I do is in a very specialist field, and there are only a handful of people in the country who do it. Another company in a similar field had initially approached Jacob, who has an amazing career by the sounds of it, to start a new department at their company doing the same thing. My old company paid a lot more money to lure him over so that he wouldn't be in direct competition.
Smart.
All of that shit can be pretty cutthroat.
Oh, it is 100%. Facebook just did it to Apple.
Yeah.
They took their AI guy or something like that.
Yeah.
Like something crazy.
Yeah.
75 million a year. It was something ridiculous. I think 400 million total.
Yeah. One of our marketing guy got poached by a company that we actually worked with for a really long time. And when I talked to him, I asked him, I was like, did you negotiate a good wage, make them pay you more? He was like, well, they already offered me way more.
Yeah.
I'm like, good for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it goes with hopefully in life, it's like if you see an employee not being paid what they're worth and you pay them what they're worth, you have an amazing employee. Also, if you see, let's say, a guy not treating a girl the way that they should be treated, there's dudes that will.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that have these crazy, obnoxiously looking girls.
Yeah.
Treat them like shit.
Yeah.
And you see it all the time online. You're like, how the fuck is she with this guy? And he's just all slumped over off his oxys. And some king out there will treat her like the queen, that kind of thing. But
yeah, it's crazy because it's just that you could pay somebody a really generous salary, and because they're not stressed all the time about bills and they're living comfortably and they're not stressed, they're feeling good, they're not getting sick, they're going to be a lot more productive.
Quality of life, quality of work.
You would have to pay, you could pay 2 cheap people to do the work, or you could just pay this one person to be mentally sane and capable of tackling all those tasks. I digress. Jacob turned the other company down, but gave them my name. It's a step. Oh, that's sweet. It's a step up from where I was, but they interviewed me and I got the job.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah. I I love a Reddit win. I've been here for about 6 months and it's enjoyable so far. Plus, I've never procreated with anyone in my chain of command, so it seems like a good place to work. I love a funny queen. I've hired one of my former coworkers, plus 2 recent graduates from my alma mater who are bright, motivated, and quickly getting up to speed. Unlike my old company, we don't have a lengthy wait list for our services yet. So a few clients have started coming to us instead of them for not having to wait. I am delighted that I am becoming the very threat of my old company. I am delighted that I am becoming the very threat my old company was trying to avoid when they pushed me out.
That was a roller coaster.
When the clients follow the people.
Oh, for sure. I've done that many times.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I've
And
followed
it's
people to
been the
different stores.
catalyst for like starting, like I started my marketing agency because somebody was like, why aren't you doing this? And I was like, I'll call you back at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
They're like, word.
Give me a sec.
It was, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I noticed that people weren't being treated correctly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And especially if they know you personally, they're like, you know who's gonna fucking like not only know how to, sorry, bleep that. You know who is gonna know how to like do this thing, but also will like make sure like they have that kind of like customer service or like guest aspect of like communicating and talking to you like a real human being and be like, yeah, you're the guy for sure. Like, it's always good to have those people.
For sure. Okay, so this is just a quick little story compilation. It's ridiculous, got away with it moments. And there was a ton of them, but I just grabbed the top 4 that, you know. So the English class that didn't exist is the first one. First day of school when I was 14, I read my English class wrong and accidentally went to the wrong classroom. Turns out there happened to be an English class for my year in that class in the same period. So it wasn't until after that I realized I was in the wrong class. Some kid told the teacher that I had moved schools. The teacher just took the student's word and crossed me off their register. I wasn't on any register, seating plan, or homework list. I sort of faded into the background. After realizing neither class noticed me missing, I stopped going to English entirely for 9 months. At the end of the year, I think both teachers figured it out and swept it under the rug. I do feel a bit left out, but that I never got to experience of mice and men, though, right? So here's the next one. I downloaded thousands of, let's call it corn files while at work in the early 2000s. One day, Central IT came with my boss to investigate suspicious downloads from my IP. They sat down at my Mac and started digging. While they were focused, I mounted my Mac's drive from another computer, navigated to the stash, and deleted it all seconds before they got to the folder. They found nothing. I got a warning, but no one could prove anything. He did like an Office Space move almost.
Yeah. Side note, since we were talking about corn, we'll just call them a friend of a friend having a company cornhole tournament. And we were talking about cornhole team names.
Mm-hmm.
And I suggested Corn Hub.
Ah, yes.
HR declined it as work appropriate, but
because they knew what it was.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, you're good. Here's another one. It's once in college, I was so tired after exams, I didn't realize I went into the men's bathroom instead of the women's. Baggy hoodie, jeans, looked ambiguous, saw the guys at the urinals, nodded, went to a stall. They were chatting about a girl cheating. I washed my hands, nodded again, and walked out. To the 2 dudes in there, thanks for being chill. Samantha sounds awful, and I hope you dumped her. She just, like she's saying she was also like in a hoodie, like, you know that like a meme where that's that girl chewing gum with her mouth wide open,
Yeah.
a sunglasses, and a hoodie, and she like throws up the peace sign. All right, thanks for letting me. That's like a girl when you're at a festival, well, not a festival, like an EDM show in an arena. You know, like the guys in the girl line. You'll just see girls in there all the time.
Oh yeah. The last time I went to 45 East,
Yeah.
Never go back. I did that because I had to change a tampon so bad and the line was so long. And one of the guys said to me, I don't feel comfortable with you in my space here. And I said,
You're in the wrong club, homie.
I was like, you guys do it to us all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I needed,
sure.
As soon as I said I needed to change my tampon, he shut the fuck up. And the other guy was like, he was like, ignore him. And the door wouldn't latch and he came like this and stood on the other side of it to hold it shut and protect me. And I'm just like, what?
Those bathrooms have come a long way.
They've seen.
I used to be like one of the few that only knew the bathroom code. So I'd like let all the homegirls go pee. All the dudes, like, you just go outside, bro, or go in with your homegirl. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I've got a final, it's a 3-sentence one, but it's also genius. So, IKEA has a 365-day return policy. I bought a bunch of furniture for an apartment, closet system, storage shelf, kitchen island. You see where this is going? Kept it in really good condition and then returned it all on day 364 when I no longer required the apartment. That's some moves right there. I'm all about pulling one over on some corporate stuff. I'm moving to Vegas for less than like for a 1-year lease.
Taking notes about all the stuff I just bought from
Or
IKEA.
Costco. You could just do it from Costco too. But oh yeah,
They have lifetime warranties at Costco on
Costco,
certain
you can take
things.
back my parents' fax machine you find in storage. Like that.
Saw on a Reddit thread of Costco somebody who had their couch for 8 years and returned it to Costco.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Costco will take a fax machine that's 30 years old. Fax machine.
I didn't realize that fax machine is so outdated.
Oh my god.
And I guess it kind of like shows my age.
They were like 40 years ago when they were really popular, maybe like 35.
I mean, working in the business setting that I did, I'm like still faxing stuff.
Really?
So that's not that outdated, but the cannabis business industry is like kind of outdated within itself, I suppose.
Well, it's a good way to send like bank checks and stuff because it's not like over the internet.
Yeah.
I'm sure it can still be intercepted, but it's like one of those tried and true ways. Like, pay me cash.
Yeah.
Cash is king or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
This one is called The Girls Next Door and the Monster Who Knew Them. This is a story that happened when I was a youth, and it was local to where I was living and grew up. In 2002, 2 young girls vanished from a quiet apartment complex in Oregon City, Oregon. Their names were Ashley Pond and Miranda Gaddis. They were best friends, 7th graders, full of energy, full of promise. What followed would reveal not only a horrifying betrayal, but also a chilling connection to a killer from the past, because the monster wasn't hiding in the woods. He was living next door. This is the buried truth. On the morning of January 9th, 2002, 12-year-old Ashley Pond was walking to her school bus, stopped like she did every day, but this time she never made it. At first, police considered the usual possibilities: runaway, stranger abduction, foul play. But there were no signs, no leads. The neighborhood was shaken up. Oregon City, especially in 2002, was very, very quiet and not super populated or like built up. It still is. It's kind of like tucked away.
Right. It's quiet to me anyways.
Yeah, it is. It's very
like I wouldn't mind living there.
Yeah, lots of trees, right. Neighborhood, don't have a lot of like developed businesses and stuff. Then 2 months later, it happened again. On March 8th, 13-year-old Miranda Gaddis, Ashley's friend and teammate, vanished under nearly identical circumstances from the same complex just yards away. Oregon City went into panic mode. Flyers flooded telephone poles, search parties combed the woods, news outlets descended on the small town. Families kept their children indoors, especially with all the wooded areas nearby and the Willamette River. There's like a lot of bases to cover. 2 girls, 2 months, 1 neighborhood. All eyes turned to a man who lived just down the street, Ward Weaver III. Weaver isn't a stranger to the girls. In fact, Ashley had previously accused him of sexual abuse, but no charges had ever stuck. He was the father of one of their classmates, and he made himself strangely visible during the investigation. He gave interviews to local news. He said he had nothing to hide. And in those interviews, which I've seen, by the way, like Same. Real time.
Oh, yeah.
Chilling now to like look back at it. In those interviews, he stood in front of a freshly poured concrete slab in his backyard, casually claiming it was for a hot tub. What no one knew at the time was that he was standing on top of one of the girls' grave. For months, the case stalled. Then came the break. In August 2002, Weaver's teenage son, Francis, went to the police. He said his father had tried to R-word his girlfriend, and in the aftermath, confessed to killing both Ashley and Miranda. That was enough for a search warrant. And on August 24th, the FBI descended on Weaver's property. Inside the shed, sealed in a cardboard box, they found the remains of Miranda Gaddis. That interview that they do, he's like standing cross-armed in front. It's like a microwave box or like an appliance box, and he's standing in front of it, like in the garage. Super creepy.
Wow.
The next day, under that hot tub slab of concrete in the backyard, they uncovered the body of Ashley Pond. Weaver had hidden them in plain sight. He continued living, sleeping, and giving interviews, just steps away from where he had buried them. But there's more to the story, a darker thread. Ward Weaver III's father, Ward Weaver Jr., was already in prison. In the early 1980s, he had kidnapped, worded, and unalived 2 young women and then buried them under concrete in his own backyard in California. The crimes were nearly identical. Violence didn't just run in his family, it echoed generation to generation. In 2004, to avoid the death penalty, Ward Weaver III pleaded guilty to the murders of Ashley and Miranda. He was sentenced to 2 life terms without the possibility of parole. And, in a disturbing footnote, in 2014, his son, Francis Weaver, the same one who helped break the case, was charged with murder in a completely unrelated shooting.
Oh my gosh.
Ashley Pond and Miranda Gaddis were bright, kind, creative girls. Their absence left a void in their school, their families, and their community. That loss cannot be filled. To the families of Ashley and Miranda and to the Oregon City community that mourned and searched and hoped, we send our deepest love and respect.
So the title for this is Am I the Asshole for Not Allowing My Friend to Bring Her Guide Dog to My Wedding? This is messed up.
I already have strong feelings.
I, 28 female, will be getting married. I'm just kidding. Will be getting married in September. I have a blind friend who mostly relies on her guide dog. The dog obviously has access rights to all places. Now, I'm in a sticky situation and I can sense I will be TA. What is TA?
The asshole.
Oh, the asshole. I have 3 chronic illnesses that I take 23 pills a day for, severe asthma, and you guessed it, an extremely severe dog allergy. Usually when I meet with my friend, we meet in the open and I take 2 allergy pills. However, because of all the other medication I take, these pills make me extremely drowsy to the point where I'm officially not allowed to drive. And I usually crash as soon as I get home from our get-togethers.
Me when I took that child's dose of Benadryl.
Right. Our wedding will be very intimate. We will be in a relatively small room. I feel horrible about this, but I don't think I can let my friend bring her dog. It just wouldn't work. I talked about it with my fiance and some friends. Finally, I talked to my friend about it, explained the situation, said I would love for her to come, but she can't bring her dog. I said that 4 of our mutual friends had offered to be on a roster and assist her should she need it. Alternatively, if she is not comfortable with this, she could bring a person of her choosing to the wedding, or I'd pay for a professional aid for the day. I think it is important to note that her dog is not for any additional issues like seizures or anything like that. She's just blind. Not just blind. Sorry. But when I said, in my head, I was thinking like peanut allergy specifically.
Yeah.
But not, you're just blind. It's fine. But of course, like in the beginning, I was like, I hope there's a really good excuse for this. If the girl's that severe with a dog allergy, and if that's your actual friend, you could be like, you've seen this, you know me.
Yeah.
Can't you know that cute guy that you don't know is ugly? Do you think he'd like to come to my wedding?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't touch his face. Just don't touch his face.
Just bring a different form of eyes.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. So, unfortunately, she was less than happy with my suggestions. She accused me of being ableist and thinking her disability can be switched off for the day. I understand what I asked was a lot, and it is a difficult topic. I told her to tell me if she changes her mind, and I'd be happy to make arrangements, but I won't budge. So, I found all the relevant comments. These are all the replies, basically.
Oh, I can't wait. This is a good one for Reddit.
Oh, this is actually an update first, so even better. Hey guys, some of you remember my post. Well, since I have got married, it says since I have got married, we decided to get married sooner than we planned because the situation was good where we lived and we didn't want to risk having to cancel if the numbers spiked. Before, I took your advice and I called my friend. I explained how severe my allergies are once again and told her I really want to be able to enjoy my wedding day. I apologize for making suggestions and not simply asking her, and she is welcome to bring up any ideas that would help her being able to attend, and she told me she still wanted to. That don't include her dog. She was adamant that it was her dog or nothing. While disappointed, I was prepared for that and told her it would not be possible and that she will be missed at the wedding. So everybody, she's playing it cool. We sent out new invitations with the new date and simply didn't invite her. So technically she was uninvited. Some of our mutual friends that are in the wedding told me that she had asked them not to attend in solidarity, but luckily they all thought that was ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. That's asking other people to not attend is a really big ask, I feel.
Yeah, that's like the childish thing to do. We had a beautiful wedding and spent our honeymoon in the Flinders ranges, which I can highly recommend. As for my friend, I'm open to reconciliation, but she will have to make the first step. So that's it. While it didn't go as I hoped, I would say I'm still in a happy place now, enjoying my life as a married woman. So Reddit had strong and mixed opinions. Here are the most relevant comment threads and OP's replies that shaped the tone of the conversation. So this is a downvoted. Nah. Although I will point out, if the facility is that small that you'll be incapacitated even with your prescription, then you shouldn't have invited her in the first place and just told her it was really just family only. But he still said you weren't the asshole. So nah, was not the asshole. OP replied, I don't think that would have worked, as 4 of our mutual friends who are not family are coming.
Yeah.
So
there just seemed like a genuine, honest person.
lying wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
She's really like, it's an awkward spot. I agree.
Yeah.
Like another commenter said, not the asshole. It's an ESA, not a medical animal. I love dogs more than humans, but in this case, the dog can stay home and your friend needs a reality check. I love that. I love dogs more than humans, but in this case.
I get that.
OP says, it's actually not an ESA, but a service animal. Yeah, if she's blind, that's a service animal. Can I suggest an alternative? Can your friend have her service dog groomed right before the wedding where they bathe and brush the dogs with one of those Furminator type shampoo, conditioner, brush outs? It really helps cut down on the shedding and you would greatly help with the allergies that you have. OP replied it wouldn't be enough. Where are you? We're in South Australia. Australia be getting wild in Reddit.
I know. I was just going to say that.
From earlier.
You said the Finders or Finders range. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I get it now. Why would OP invite the friend if the guide dog cannot attend? OP says because she sometimes goes without it. Oh, not very often, but when it's at the vet's because she's sometimes going out without her dog. We've been friends for 12 years. Not inviting her seems wrong. So she has only 10% vision, no seizures. She can and does go out without the dog, but it's not my place to judge that, says OP.
She's so level-headed.
Yeah, it sounds like very entitled. Especially like it's literally the girl's day, the bride's day. Even when they're bridezillas, everyone's just like, just let her have it. Like, just make this day whatever they want.
Well, because here's my thing, and I'm no scientist on blindness, so take that with a grain of salt. But there are tons of blind people who either can't have dogs, don't have dogs.
Yeah.
They use...
that have the allergies of the bride.
Yeah, probably
that are also blind.
Live in a space or aren't capable to like take care of the dog, etc. So I'm just like, not everybody has the luxury of having a seeing guide dog. So like, why couldn't you? And maybe the other tools don't work well for her. So that's what I'm saying. I don't have the whole picture here, but I'm like, well, what do other people do who can't have dogs?
100%. Well, and you see blind people walking around all the time. You know what I mean? Like they've got their sticks or whatever they're called, and
to guide them. They have other guiding tools.
Absolutely. And with the technology we have, like this was very recent. They have, what is it, like Be My Eyes?
Yeah.
Shit like that. And
they have like voice.
Yeah. And she can't be like, oh, because I'm trying to be independent. It's like, well, you're relying on a dog.
Yeah. I don't know. That's interesting. I also wonder like what the difference in like different blindness issues and like disabilities are.
Right.
I don't know. That's something to look into, I guess.
Someone said, have you thought about changing the setup of the wedding due to the pandemic? I'm not sure how comfortable I would be going to a wedding in a small room in September. Will you and the guests be wearing masks? The mask might help filter out the allergens. If you move the ceremony outside, they may give you more options as far as social distancing, as well as your friend and her service animal being there. We haven't had any cases of COVID-19 in over 2 months, so everyone is pretty comfortable. Moving outside is not an option because of my hay fever. Man, people really want this dog at the wedding. But also OP is like kind of like, I'm surprised she's even replying because her answers are so short and like, no and nah. But like,
It's a lot of effort to put
Don't
in.
get married. That's the point of this story.
There's always issues. Reddit is always full of marriage,
Right.
wedding debacles.
Someone put, not the asshole, just wondering how you became friends with her if you have a dog allergy and she's blind with a guide dog. She only got the dog a few years ago.
Oh my dog. Yeah, the cookie, the something's unraveling. I
There's
don't know what the
actually a
saying is.
follow-up to that. Said, I see. But then can't she survive a day without the dog like she did before? Hope he said she can and does, but it's not my place to judge that. Yeah, kind of. Well, it's ours. That's for sure.
The plot thickens is a saying I was looking for. The plot fucking thickens.
Here we go. Yes, you are the asshole. Your friend was wrong to try to sabotage your wedding, but you asked a person with a disability and a service dog to not bring the dog. You actually are in violation of the Americans with Disability Act. A service dog has the legal right to go anywhere the handler goes. I once called the police on a restaurant that was refusing to allow a service dog, citing health laws. Trying to explain the requirements for service dogs, they still refused. The police intervened and the individual and I had a lovely dinner. Apologies are needed from both sides. OP replies, this wasn't in the US and it wasn't a public place. Just a question. How are you able to be friends with her outside of your wedding if she has a guide dog? Surely it accompanies her wherever she goes. Were you exclusively friends with her online or via phone? We've been friends long before she got her dog. And the last commenter said, she'd ask them not to attend in solidarity. If there was any doubt about your friend, this cleared things up. I'm happy you got to enjoy your wedding. Congratulations. Yeah, having other friends, will you not go because they won't? Like, that would have been, that's kind of fair. I'm like hopping back and forth on sides on this like crazy. Like, don't put me in the situation. I'm going to be a yes man.
Yeah.
So the dog's coming to the wedding and you're going to have a good time. And
Yeah. No, it's definitely like
we're
a
gonna put the dog
difficult
in a plastic
situation.
bubble.
Yeah.
You know those orbs? He loves it. He already knows how to run in it. That's a good idea, actually.
Take him to
It just runs over the blind lady. Just bonk.
knocks her out.
Question for the listener. If you were in OP's shoes, what would you have gone through? Or would you have gone through with the wedding without inviting your blind friend? Or would you have tried to find another way? Like, who is in the wrong here? What would you do? What would you do?
I don't know if I feel like nobody's like there are like wrong things about it, but it's also just like a uncommon, like unique, sticky situation. I also don't really like the vibe I'm getting from the blind friend.
For sure. It almost sounds like you know those people that kind of like talk loud because they want you to be like, oh, I wonder what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like and nobody gives a shit
Yeah.
what they're talking about. It kind of sounds like this.
Yeah.
Like our life doesn't have any fucking action in it.
Yeah.
And here, I want to also get on the internet and blab about it.
Yeah. Totally.
That's why Reddit's so good, is because the commenters will be like, both of you guys are stupid and I'm dead for listening.
They like pick it apart. Yeah. Also, the blind person is giving very. Do you watch Arrested Development?
I love that show.
The Elaine from Seinfeld, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, her blind like lawyer character where she's like faking being blind.
Yeah.
That's immediately like what I was thinking of. Not saying that people aren't blind.
Right.
Just
Arrested Development.
Oh, I love Arrested Development.
That's why I like what's his name? Damn it. He's the bald guy in Arrested Development, the never nude. What's his real David Cross.
Tobias.
Yes, Tobias.
Funke.
He's
in Mr.
No, when he tried to be it was like a rapist or something.
Yes.
He tried to blend it all together and it made like the word necro rapist.
Yep.
Necropolis or like.
Yeah. He's so fucking funny. He was in forever ago. I used to watch him and.
Did you watch Run, Ronnie, Run like I told you to?
Oh, yeah. So we talked about this. I have not watched it yet.
You have to.
But yeah, I was going to say, Mr. Show is like fucking pure comedy gold. But my favorite character in Arrested Development is Buster, the guy who loses his hand, where he like writes.
I like how sometimes they're like, Buster's smarter than you think. And he's always like evil looking.
Yeah. Oh, I love him. And his reactions and the things he says sometimes. And I like that the letters are always like not from Buster or from the army. It just says from army.
Or he like gets with that old lady, like
Lucille
friend.
too. Yeah. Fuck. Everybody gets with her. That's so funny. There was a Portland Pickles game and the theme was Arrested Development. And Jamie and this person that she went with, they went as Lindsay and Michael.
Oh, nice.
No, sorry, Lindsay and Tobias. I don't think he has hair, but I don't think he's bald. But he did wear the cutoff like denim shorts and some flannel, and then she wore a red shirt and put the letters "slut" across it and had a banana purse.
Love it.
She
The
said,
money's in the banana stand.
"How could you be so stupid?"
My favorite scene out of all of Arrested Development is when the brother walks in, the son,
Yeah.
and he sits down the piano and he's like, boom, boom, boom. And he's like, you're as cold as ice. And the mom just slams the piano on his hands. He's like, I'm a magician.
Church, I fucking love
Or
Will Arnett.
when he, as a magician, his biggest trick is to escape from prison, and he's in there and he ends up getting shanked hella bad, and he wakes up in the hospital and he's like, where am I? And they're like, dude, you got stabbed, you're in the hospital. And as episode ends and he goes, ta-da.
In his like raspy voice that he has. Oh, I love him so. That cast is just so.
And they all
fucking
went
good.
places. Michael Cera, before
Yeah.
he was Michael Cera, like he was like asking questions in the same like super bad style character. Like that, he seems very like that in real life.
Jason Bateman is one of my all-time favorites. You watch
ESPN 8, The Ocho. Ozark's really good.
I love him in anything.
But you remember on Dodgeball? He was
Yeah.
ESPN 8, The Ocho. If it's nearly a sport, we'll cover it.
I fucking that's such a good movie.
Oh man, I watched it like a couple weeks ago.
More costumes that Jam said she saw at the Pickles game. Somebody who is Tobias, who it was a woman, she committed to the blue cap, painted herself blue, and was wearing the denim shorts. So she was Tobias when he was in the Blue Man Group.
Wow.
It's fucking crazy. Okay, which story am I gonna do? All right, we're gonna go back to back with the wedding stories. So I have a title for you that is I stood in my partner's best friend's wedding. Coming to the internet because A, this is batshit insane, and B, I have no idea how to move forward. Any and all advice is greatly appreciated. There's a bit of backstory to cover, so I apologize for the exposition. My partner Joe, 24 male, and I, 24 female, have been together for 8 years and married for just under a month. Yay! In parentheses it says. Congratulations, guys. Jay's best friend Seth, 23 male, and I have known each other since before Joe and I met. About a year and a half after Joe and I started dating, Seth started seeing Mia, 23 female. Mia and I have never been particularly close. She's very much a girly girl, and I tend to gravitate towards friendships with men. Despite this, I made an effort for the sake of Joe and Seth, as the four of us were spending a lot of time together. Mia and I were friendly, and while I never got the sense that she liked me very much, she was polite and welcoming to me. Joe proposed to me last summer, and when we got engaged, I asked Seth if he'd be one of Joe's groomsmen. Joe and Seth have a tight-knit group of guy friends, so I was unsure if they'd want a traditional wedding party, but Joe told me he was honored and they'd make it work. Around the same time, Seth and Mia also got engaged and began planning their wedding. Mia asked me to be one of her bridesmaids, which I was flattered by, but admittedly surprised. We weren't very close, and I wasn't sure if it was just a numbers thing. For example, if she was trying to balance the gender ratio, but either way, I accepted the invitation. After Mia and I began planning our weddings, things took a weird turn. She started inserting herself into my plans, asking to see my wedding dress, questioning my color choices, commenting on my floral arrangements, etc. I initially brushed it off as curiosity or a desire to bond over some shared experiences, but it soon became very intrusive. When Joe and I set a date for our wedding, Mia called me and told me that she and Seth had booked their wedding for the same weekend. I was shocked and told her that we'd already sent out our save the dates, but she just brushed it off, saying it was the only date that worked for their venue. That's so juicy. From that point on, Mia's behavior has become increasingly erratic. She made passive-aggressive comments about my weight, my job, and my family. She told mutual friends that I was trying to upstage her and accused me of copying her wedding plans. Despite having set our date and booked our vendors first. I tried to distance myself from her, but every time I pulled back, she'd escalate, crying to Seth, who would then call Joe, and so on. Fast forward to Joe and I's wedding. The day went off without a hitch, and I tried to be the bigger person by including Seth and Mia in the festivities. They were cordial, but cold, and Mia made several snide comments during the reception. I ignored them and enjoyed my day. Oh man, that would rub me the wrong way.
For sure.
That's so disrespectful. Now, for the insane part. Last week, Mia called me and said she wanted to talk about her wedding. She told me that she was having second thoughts about me being a bridesmaid because she didn't want to be overshadowed and asked if I'd consider wearing a wig to cover my natural hair. OP puts in a note. I have long, curly, red hair, and Mia is a blonde. She claimed it would help the aesthetic of her wedding photos and offered to pay for the wig. That's expensive. That's crazy to carry that much. I was speechless. I asked her if she was serious, and she doubled down, saying that she and her hairstylist had already picked one out for me. I told her that I was offended and hurt, and that if she felt that strongly, I should just step down from the wedding party. She said she didn't want that, but she needed to know that I was willing to prioritize her day. I told her I'd think about it and hung up. Now I'm stuck. Joe thinks I should just walk away and let Seth handle Mia, but Seth is furious with Joe and said that I'm being unreasonable. Mia has since sent me a list of bridesmaids' expectations, including weight loss goals, tanning schedules, and mandatory mani-pedis. I can understand being particular and being very stern on your vision for what you want for your wedding for your own person, but a weight loss and tanning schedule for people is sickening.
That's like a thing too, is like I've seen most wedding parties, like let's say they all have a matching dress and everyone's like, if you've got a friend that's like, let's say on like the bigger side, that dress is still matching the rest of the wedding party. Like
It looks
as long as they're in the same dress. And like, what do you like? You want her to be not as hot as what you're saying. Like she's probably like, if you have long curly red hair and someone's asking you to cover it, I can only imagine how beautiful. She's probably got
gorgeous. Yeah, because she said she didn't want to be upstage. Well, and when some of my friends have gotten married, they have picked more than one color in their theme. So they're like, hey, these are like my dress ideas that we have available. If you have something
it's got to match the color, right? Yeah,
these are the other colors
instead of this dress.
Yeah, because they don't obviously people don't.
And if they do, like when my aunt wanted everyone to get mani-pedis, including the guys, but they paid for them. And they had them scheduled, and they had everybody in the same room. It was like, get up, we're going. Like everyone's like, what's going on?
I'm sure it was fun
and
great. Enjoyable and not like
I was a kid, but everybody was doing the mimosa thing. And
that's how it should be. It should be fun. This sounds like sounds like
work, dude.
Nazi Germany.
So you want me to run around my apartment building how many times?
Yeah. So she says, what the hell do I do? We have an update.
Okay.
Thanks for all the responses on my original post. I'm so glad to know I wasn't crazy. A few clarifying details before we get into the update. I mentioned in my post that Seth and Mia's wedding was the same weekend as ours. It was actually the literal day after ours, but I was frustrated and typed in a hurry. Also, I'm not a bridesmaid anymore. That ship has sailed. You'll see why.
I'm glad she clarified that. I was like, did they both get married? Then they came to her reception?
Yeah. Anyway, after I posted it, I took some time to process and have a few honest conversations with Joe. I also talked to a few mutual friends who have had weird experiences with Mia, and a clearer picture began to form because it's, she's starting to realize that it's not just her.
100%.
Joe and I agreed that while Seth is his best friend, this isn't the kind of friendship he wants to prioritize anymore if this is how he's going to behave. Good. He's been walking on eggshells with Seth for years and realized that most of his loyalty was guilt-based. We talked about the godparent stuff too and decided to move forward with different friends entirely for the godparents in the future. As for the wig debacle, I told Mia that I was stepping down from the bridal party. She freaked out and told me I was being selfish, shallow, and insecure. I told her that if the version of me and vision for her wedding day required me to alter my appearance, I wasn't the right fit for her party. Talk about being shallow.
Right.
And insecure. Seth got involved and blew up at Joe. Joe told him that we wished them well, but didn't want to be involved anymore. We decided not to attend the wedding and spent the weekend on a mini honeymoon instead. Good for them. Apparently, Mia was pissed that I didn't show and spent most of the wedding complaining about me. The final straw, one of the groomsmen, Al, who's a friend of mine from college, found out about the wig thing and confronted Mia during the reception. He pulled the wig out of the gift bag and held it up in front of everyone, asking if it matched the
Oh my
rest of the
God.
props.
Love
What a
it.
legend.
Dude, that's the homie.
Chaos ensued. Mia left in tears. Seth tried to fight Al. The photographer got it all on camera. I've since blocked Mia and Seth on everything. They sent us a long email apologizing, but it read like a PR statement. We've all seen those.
Yeah.
Not a lot of soul in them. Joe and I are focused on our marriage and planning a real honeymoon now. So the too long didn't read is Seth and Mia are complete strangers to me. I won't be reading the apology letter. I won't be dedicating any more of myself to thinking about it. Thank you, everyone who commented on the original post. Sometimes tough love is necessary. Reddit had a lot to say. Some people roasted OP for letting the situation get as far as it did, saying she had chances to say no to the wig, no to the wedding, or walk away. Others sympathized with how emotionally trapped she felt she was, trying to protect her husband's friendship and avoid being the villain. Joe got dragged hard for not standing up for her. Mia was called manipulative, abusive, and obsessed with control. Everyone loved groomsman Al for having OP's back and yanking off the wig. The most shocking part, people couldn't believe OP considered Mia and Seth as godparents. Consensus was OP learned the hard way, and that apology was years too late.
For sure. Same advice as last story. Don't get married.
I wish I knew Al as a person.
Yeah, he sounds like a cool uncle.
Yeah.
Uncle Al.
Al, if you hear this, write us a letter. DM
He
us.
sounds like the kind of uncle that was like, oh, that TikTok video where he's like, I've been giving hate to them White Claws for all these years, but they're good.
They're good.
Man, that 5%, I drink about 20 of them. They fuck me up. That's Al.
Funny. That's the vibes. And that's it for my side of episode 5. 8 stories, multiple crimes, and an alarming number of red flags. If any of these reminded you of somebody in your life, maybe reconsider inviting them to your wedding or exist in your general vicinity, honestly.
That's fair, dude. That was a wild episode.